Hello and welcome to the Daily Red, your lunchtime catch-up on all things Liverpool FC and your daily reminder that the Reds are Premier League champions. And things have moved from yesterday. We have moved. We have moved for Hugo Ekitike. Now, he's obviously the number 2 option. And that's fine. We've had great success in the past signing number 2 options. Gini Wijnaldum was a number 2 option. Sadio Mane was a number 2 option. Mo Salah was a number 2 option. Now, some of them were the manager's number 2. He didn't want Mo originally. He wanted Julian Brand. Sadio, he wanted Mario Götze. He had to be convinced on those players by the recruitment staff. But if the recruitment staff decided that the recruitment staff led by a man who decided that Roberto Firmino, Sadio Mane and Mo Salah were the lads to go and sign, if he has now decided that Hugo Ekitike is the fella to go and sign, doesn't really matter what any of the rest of us think. Good or bad, whether you're all in on Ekitike, whether you think he's the next best thing, whether, like me, you're not sold on him because his finishing is inconsistent, to be kind, and he does struggle against physicality. And people can say, oh, he's strong. That's not what physicality is. Physicality includes aggression. It includes speed. He struggles against pacey defenders. He struggles against defenders who are aggressive. Go and watch the Spurs games. Those things will improve in time. He's young. He's going to bulk up. Get him in the door, get him on the stakes, get him in the gym with Mo, give him a couple of inhalers if he needs them. But if Michael Edwards has decided that Ekitike is worth going for, then you have to back it. Yes, he's a project, and yes, I had hoped, and I think a lot of people had hoped, that we wouldn't sign a project forward, that we would sign someone more ready-made in order to maximize the window with Mo, with Virgil, with Ali. But he's not a project like Darwin. His baseline is higher than Darwin's baseline. He doesn't have Darwin's explosiveness, but he doesn't rely on that type of stuff. His technical level is a lot higher than Darwin's. At the very least, he's going to be a very good link-up player. And he's got good movement. And he's walking into a team that's going to have Mo Salah on the right, Florian Wirtz in the team, and potentially in the team as a 10 with Rodrigo on the left. And if he walks into that team, he's going to have all the help he could ever possibly need. That's not even mentioning Alexis McAllister, Jeremy Frimpong, Milos Kerkez, Dom Szoboszlai, who will all create chances for him. He's walking into a much better situation than Darwin walked into. Because Arne is, I think, I think he's a better coach than Jurgen. Like, I don't think he's as good a manager as Jurgen yet, but I think he's a better coach than Jurgen. But he's certainly a better coach than Pep and Linders, who was largely doing the coaching at that point where Darwin came in. And Arne has a clearer plan for how he uses his attack, whereas Jurgen had handed a lot of that stuff on to Linders, and Linders that summer came out and talked about street football, playing on instinct, drivel, utter drivel. Might have been the summer after, can't remember. Either way, that's where our attack went. Our attack looked much better last year than it had in the last 3 or 4 years. Much more purposeful. So he will walk into a better situation than Darwin walked into. He's more polished than Darwin, like I said. And as I say, even if he becomes more a facilitator than goal scorer, that can be fine as well, because we have Mo, because we might have Rodrigo, because we do have Florian Wirtz, because we have Dom Szoboszlai, because we have Alexis McAllister, all of whom can get you goals. and plenty of them. One thing we can't do, and I've been guilty of this in the last couple of days, but if he signs, it all has to stop. We can't compare him to Isak. We cannot put that level of pressure on him because he's a young lad who'll be coming to a new country with a lot of expectation and a big price tag already weighing over him. So he will need patience and he will need time. Now, I saw today someone say, oh, well, as long as he doesn't get treated like Darwin. I hope he does get treated like Darwin. Darwin gets his name chanted for tying his laces. This idea that Darwin is vilified is nonsense. It took a long time for much of the fan base to sort of look at Darwin and go, yeah, no, not going to work. Midway through last season is about when it happened for most people. So if Ekitiki gets 2.5 years before people start to really turn on him, and I know there was stuff said early because he missed chances in pre-season, and then he got sent off against Palace, but Darwin Núñez has been backed by the fan base. Most of the crap you see online is not from fans. And most is not even from Liverpool fans. It's from City fans or Arsenal fans or whatever. I don't think there's any chance that the fans will turn on a young player like this anyway in the first few years. You have to let him get his feet under him. Like, Isak came over. Isak was a better player coming over than Ekitiki is now, I think. Slightly better, slightly more proven. Maybe not better, certainly more proven. There was a bigger sample size in him. And yes, he'd had that disappointing third year at Sociedad. That's absolutely fair to say. But the season before, he'd been incredible. The season before that, he was really, really good. But Isak's first year wasn't all plain sailing in the Premier League. We look at him now, and I think he's the best striker in the league. But in the first season, there were games he looked amazing. There were games he looked like a player that might bomb out of the league after a couple of years. Darwin scored more than him in the first year. So we need to be patient with him. It's going to take patience. But like I say, he is walking in to potentially the best possible situation with Salah. Salah and Wirtz alone make it an incredible situation for him to walk into. If we add Rodrigo to that, that would be a hell of a get. I can't believe how underrated he is by so many in our fan base. That kid is potentially world class. If we get him in, get him playing regularly on the left, he will be outrageous. He also gives us an alternative number 9. So you can play Cody left wing, you could move Wirtz left wing. He can play through the middle, and he's really good at it. So if we need to rest Ekitiki, or the manager feels like it's a game he's not necessarily suited to, wants a bit more pace, Rodrigo can play through the middle. And Rodrigo is a spark plug. Like, he is lightning. So Mo hasn't got the same pace that he used to have. Wirtz isn't a speedster. Ekitiki's like Cody, slow over the first few steps, but once he gets moving, then he is pretty quick over distance. But Rodrigo is instant burst.